Success begins with responsibility. Okay? Success begins with responsibility. What does that mean? It means what you have right now is not all you could possess. Rather, it is what you produced with what you received. Success begins with responsibility. This is what I discovered, that successful people don't play the blame game. They take responsibility. When you look at what is in your hand, it is not what was given to you. It is what you produced with what was given to you. Because you see, the guy that turned 1 to 5 operated in the same economy with the guy that turned 1 to 10. So I must not look at what is in my hand and blame the economy and blame the environment, because somebody else in the same economy turned 1 to 10. I don't have an excuse for turning 1 to 5. Let me say it again. What you have right now is not all you could possess. Rather, it is what you produced with what you received. I have come to discover that God is not into finished products. God gives people raw material. So when you see people who are doing very well, don't think it is just because God has blessed them. There is none of us, okay, that is not blessed. We are all blessed. So when people are flying high, when they are doing so well, it is because they did something with what they received. Let me say it to you in another way. Where you are is not because of where you started from, but what you did along the way. That's the first big idea. Success begins with responsibility. If you are going to shift from where you are to where you desire to be, you've got to say to yourself, if it is going to be, it is up to me. You've got to take responsibility for your own success. It leads me to the second idea. We're looking at the 5 big ideas from the parable of Minas. This is the second one. Good intentions are not good enough. Good intentions are not good enough. You must produce results. I discovered that in life, more is reserved for those who make the most of what is in their hands. In other words, if you want more, don't just pray for more, make the most of what's in your hand. That's what the master said. To the one who makes the most of what is in his hand, more will be given. But to the person who does nothing, even what he has will be taken away from him. In other words, when you do nothing, you lose. When you do nothing, you lose. For you to get more, you've got to make the most of what is in your hand. I've come to find out that in life, you may be acknowledged for effort, but you will only be rewarded for your results. So don't judge yourself by good intentions. Okay, we do that all the time. We judge ourselves by our intentions, and then we judge other people by their results. Listen, people will not judge you by your intentions. They cannot read your mind. They are going to what? They are going to judge you with results. Jesus said it this way: let your light so shine amongst men that they may see your good deeds. In other words, it does not matter how bright your light is. If it does not find expression in good deeds, you might as well not have light. In other words, whatever treasure is in you, whatever fantastic idea is in you, whatever intelligence is in you, if it does not find expression in the work of your hand, you are as good as not having the insight, not having the idea, not having, that great deposit that is within you. So, good intentions are not good enough. Please don't forget, you may be acknowledged for effort, but you will only be rewarded for your results. Principle number 3 is very important. If you don't use it, you will lose it. Okay, that's the third principle that I saw from the parable of Minas. If you don't use it, you will lose it. What does that mean? That what you currently possess is not an accurate measurement of your value. Let me say that again. What you currently possess is not an accurate measure of your value. If you don't make the most of what is in your hand, if you don't use it, you will lose it. So I say it jokingly that there are some people who are broke, but they don't know it yet. They have money in their account. If they check their balance right now, it reads maybe 2.5 million, but it's not their money. That's the truth, because they are about to lose it. Some people are divorced. They just don't know it yet. The lady has not moved out yet, or the man has not filed for divorce yet. But the way the wife is handling the relationship, or the way the man is handling the relationship, that is what is going to happen. If you don't make the most of what you already have, you will lose it. Somebody listening to me right now, I don't wish this for you. See, but there are people who think they have a job. They closed from an office, but by this time next week, they are jobless because of the way they are handling what is in their hand. So it's not enough for you to cry. Okay, I don't have enough. Okay, things are not working for me. If you keep complaining and you say what you have in your hand is small, you may not have something small in your hand. You may actually have nothing, because if you don't use what you have, you will lose it. Principle number 4 now says you can always do better. You can always do better. So I say, don't ascribe the outstanding results of other people solely to their talent. Someone somewhere with the same opportunities and challenges as you is producing better results. The guy that buried his talent said, my master is a wicked man. He takes what he does not invest. I need us to realize that guy works for the same boss as the guy who turned 1 to 10. So for every excuse, there's somebody excelling. Okay, for every excuse you give for not being excellent, for not being outstanding, there's somebody excelling under the same condition. So no matter what it is that you have produced, tell yourself the truth. I can do better. I can do better. I can do better. Okay, it's written in Ecclesiastes that to him that is joined to the living there is hope, because a living dog is better than a dead lion. In other words, as long as you can still take in oxygen, you are full of possibilities. You see, you are a seed. I like to describe us that way. You are a seed. You are a creature of immense potential. No matter how successful you are right now, you can still be more successful. No matter how accomplished you are right now, there is still a lot that you can do. In life, there is nothing like a dead end. There may be difficult seasons, but it's not a dead end. It may be a bend in the road, but it's not a dead end. There is always a way out. There is always a way forward. Right now, I want you to say it to yourself. If you can't, put it in the comments, tag yourself, write your name there and say, I can always do better. Okay, I can always do better. And by the way, that is the concept. Okay, my new book, Moving Forward, is built on. You can always do better. I'm going to encourage you to register for the checklist seminar happening on the 2nd of November, because every registered participant gets a copy of that book. It's hardback. You are going to enjoy it. I'll talk about that later. So principle number 4 says you can always do better. We're talking about the 5 big ideas, and this is the 5th one. Talent is never enough. Let me say it again. Talent is never enough. Success in life is not determined solely by talent. How far you go is determined by what you do with what is in your hand, not just what you received. We have seen people who are minimally gifted, but who have a strong work ethic, so they go very far. And yet we have some people who are multi-talented, multi-gifted, and they are not even able to take off because they don't have a strong work ethic. So what you are given is not as important as what you are doing with what you were given. Let me say that again. What you were given is not as important as what you are doing with what you were given. Let me say it in another way. What you know is not as important as what you are doing with what you know. So the big question I want to ask you right now is, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm sure you have seen this picture before. It's right in front of you right now. This is the picture of a lady in a banking hall. If you look in front of her, you see many customers waiting to be attended to. Anybody that sees her from the front says, look, this lady is swamped. She has a lot of people to attend to. She's working very hard. But from behind that desk, look at her screen and see what she's doing. She's playing solitaire. She's playing a game at work. And there are so many people, that is the way we live our lives. You see, activity does not equal productivity. That you are busy does not mean that you are productive. It's important that you ask yourself that critical question. What am I doing? Am I moving forward or am I moving around? Am I making progress or am I just making excuses? When I got to this point, okay, and I got inspired with these 5 big ideas, I said to myself, what must I do? What factors must be in place in everything that I attempt so that I can become that 10-mina guy, the person who makes the most of what is in his or her hand? Now, back up 2016, my wife then worked in aviation. She was a flight attendant for about 10 years. And so she would come home, tell me a lot of stories, about what happened during their flights and all of that. Now, I had some funny interest in the work she did then because flying a plane still is one of the items on my bucket list. Okay. I want to fly a plane before I die. But over and above that, I like flights. I like plane, I like to fly in the plane, especially the takeoff and the landing. I like the speed, the adrenaline rush of a takeoff. I like the feeling of landing because it signals we have arrived. The risk is over. So I love to fly in planes. I love to travel, by air a lot. And in those days, I would compare notes with my wife. We'll talk about, stuff that happens during the flight, stuff that happens, with captains and all of those kind of things. So one of the things I learned from my wife is how that for everything they do, they have checklists. You see, the pilot does not fly the plane from experience. This is important. The pilot flies the plane, and for every flight, there are checklists that they must follow. Okay, one person will hold on to the checklist, another person will be executing the tasks one after the other and calling it out, and the other person will be ticking, we have done this, we have done this, we have done this, we have done that, and then they follow that procedure for every flight. So I said to myself, what are those factors that if I want to attempt anything and I want it to be, a 10-minute success, I want it to be exceptional, what are those things that must be present? I sat down, I thought about them. If you know me very well, I like 5, item lists. So I said, let me come up with 5 ideas, 5 principles that when they are present, whatever I attempt will be successful. Before I share the 5 ideas with you, or the 5 principles with you, I want you to check out what a commercial pilot said about the checklist. Patrick Smith said, checklist discipline is important. You always reach for the card. Even if you are 99.99% certain that everything is safe and complete, in the airline environment, this discipline is taken for granted. In my entire major airline career, I have never once seen a checklist intentionally skipped. And Patrick Smith worked as a commercial pilot for about 30 years. And this man is saying, in about 30 years, I have never seen a moment where a checklist is intentionally skipped. And that's the idea that I'm passing on to you. That the 5 essential elements of achievement that I'm about to share with you, if you will make sure that you follow them in everything you attempt, your success is inevitable. My testimony is that from 2016 that I started following the concept of the checklist, over 80% of my goals have been achieved. There's hardly anything I set my heart to that I don't achieve, because from 2016 till this moment that I'm talking with you, I have walked the checklist into the fabric of my life. Even for this broadcast, I used the checklist. So what is the 5 essential elements of achievement? That's what we'll turn our attention to as we begin to wind down tonight. The first one is clarity of purpose. Clarity of purpose. Now, what do we mean by that? To have clarity of purpose is to know why you are doing whatever it is that you are doing. I like that book by Simon Sinek titled Start with Why. I believe strongly that when you know why you are doing what you are doing, who to work with, how to go about it, when to go about it will become easy when you know why you are doing it. That's a major chapter in the book. I will encourage you to read it. Of course, the time we have will not permit me to teach exhaustively. Even at the checklist seminar, I don't get to cover everything that's in the book. We just highlight the very important things. And then what I do at the checklist seminar a lot is to teach ideas based on the checklist that I did not get to cover in the book. Some of those ideas over the last few years are the ideas that have made it into this new book that is going to come out on the 2nd of November titled Moving Forward. But the first essential element of achievement is the clarity of purpose. Don't just know what you're doing. Know why you are doing it. You see, there are strong reasons and there are there are some reasons that are not strong enough. If the reason is not strong enough, you will quit. But if the reason is strong enough, there's nothing stopping you. Okay, you've got to know why you are doing what you are doing. In the book, I talked about, I gave some very good examples of what purpose will do for you when you know why you are doing what you're doing. Okay, one of such things is purpose will help you crash through quitting moments. Let me say it again. Purpose will help you crash through quitting moments. Purpose will let you know who's supposed to go on the journey with you. Purpose is very important. The first element of achievement, essential element of achievement, is the clarity of purpose. The second one is the quality of thought. The quality of thought. It has been said that the quality of your harvest is determined by the quality of your seed. Okay, all things being equal. The quality of your harvest is determined by the quality of your seed. So I say that great achievement begin and is sustained with great ideas. I like that slogan used by Toyota so many years ago. Good thinking, good product. In the book, The Checklist, I took time to share with you where or how to generate great ideas. You see, it does not matter how hard you work. The quality of the ideas you are executing will determine the quality of your results. The third essential element of achievement is a detailed plan of action. A detailed plan of action. Planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it now. Listen, planning denies the future of unpleasant surprises and minimizes the impact of eventualities. Planning prepare your reflexes so that when the unexpected happens, you can respond. This is what I have discovered, that people who plan tend to respond better to both opportunities and eventualities because planning prepares your reflexes. But please take note, if it is not documented, it is not a plan. If it is not documented, it is not a plan. You will get more about planning from the book, The Checklist. And number 4 is focused execution. Focused execution. To turn your dreams into reality, you must develop a bias for action. No matter how detailed and intelligent your plan is, nothing happens until you start doing something. This is important. Planning is good. Okay, you can brainstorm, you can bring the best of people into the room, come up with the best of ideas, but nothing is going to happen until you start doing something about your plan. And it's not enough to start. Successful people execute their plans until they get to results. That's what focused execution is all about. The heart of focused execution is discipline. Discipline. What is discipline? Doing what you have to do when you have to do it, regardless of how you feel. Let me say it again. Discipline is doing what you have to do when you have to do it, regardless of the way you feel. I'm mindful of time. We need to round up quickly. I'm going to encourage you. There's a lot to read, okay, about discipline in the book. And finally, the fifth essential element, okay, of achievement is the investment of time. the investment of time. It takes time to build anything of worth. And so what we focused on in that chapter, and what we always focus on when we get to this point at the seminar, is to show you how you can leverage time as a tool for achievement. There are several principles, of time that we talk about in that chapter and we explore at the seminar. Because of our time, I like to keep our broadcasts, concise, so that those who will watch later don't get overwhelmed with the length of the broadcast. That's why we will have to try to draw it, to a close. But before we do that, I want to show you something. This is the checklist. The 5 essential elements of achievement: clarity of purpose, quality of thought, a detailed plan of action, focused execution, and the investment of time. If you make sure that these 5 elements are present in whatever you are trying to achieve, your success is inevitable. Now look at the highlighted words. These are the 5 essential elements of achievement: purpose, thought, plan, execution, time. Look at it again. Purpose, thought, plan, execution, time. Know your purpose, generate the best of ideas, lay out your plan, execute your plans with discipline, give it time, and success will not elude you. The challenge is we miss out. Sometimes we know purpose, but our thoughts are not qualitative. Sometimes we have quality of thoughts, but no detailed plan of action. Sometimes we have a plan of action, but we don't have focused execution. We allow ourselves to be distracted. And there are times when we have the right idea, we have the right people on the team, we have a great plan, we are focused in execution, but we are impatient with the dream. We are not investing enough time. And that is why sometimes we don't achieve the results that we desire. When you get to the checklist, you have opportunity to ask questions, about all that I've shared with you, and so if you've not been to the checklist seminar, this is what you're missing. And now this is about 34 minutes. At the checklist seminar, we spend 4 hours to explore these ideas. So you don't want to miss it, for anything. We have another one coming up on the 2nd of November. You don't want to miss it for anything. Just check the link in my bio or respond yes right now to this broadcast, and the link will be sent to you where you will get to read more about the checklist seminar and how to register. We only take in 50 participants, and right now we have just over 20 seats left. So you want to make sure that you register as fast as possible if you want to be at the seminar on the 2nd of November. The venue is in Lekki. We are only announcing the venue to registered participants. We want just 50 people in the room. Once we get all those seats filled, we won't expand because we want it to be interactive. We want you to, make friends, network with people, ask questions freely so that we can be prepared for what 2025 has in store for us. And if you have not read the book, The Checklist, I'm going to encourage you to get it. Incidentally, we only have the ebook available now. The hardback has been exhausted. If you check the link in my bio, you will be able to get, the ebook. It's just going for 5,000 naira. Get the ebook so that you can enjoy the checklist. It will put you in the right frame of mind, especially if you are coming for the seminar, because we're just going to be building up, from there.